Hello there, and welcome back to another Star Wars What If reaction. Today we're reacting to What If Anakin Refused to Spy on Palpatine, created by Fantasy Folklore. Be sure to check him out, links in the description, and I cannot wait to see what he's come up with for this Star Wars What If, so let's jump right in.
Before we begin, please check out our saber shop, Fantasy Sabers.
Yo.
I'm sure there's something for everyone to enjoy.
I definitely gotta get one of these in the future.
$99 saber,
that's cheap.
the cheapest on the market.
Damn.
Let's get into the video. In Revenge of the Sith, Anakin is denied the rank of Master, but given a seat on the Council. This is because the Council...
Although, the only reason he got the seat in the Council is kind of Palpatine basically, like, you know, interfering in Jedi matters, which is kind of like a, you know, bitch move by him.
Council had a secret mission for Anakin to spy on the Chancellor. When Obi-Wan informs the Chosen One of this, Anakin clearly wasn't pleased, but he agreed nonetheless. But what if, at this moment, Skywalker refuses to spy on the Chancellor? Let's start today's story just after the Council session when Obi-Wan proposes this assignment to Anakin. Skywalker was outraged. He couldn't believe that the high and mighty Jedi would commit treason against the Republic.
Okay, buddy.
Perhaps Anakin was biased here. At this point
I wonder, is this actually just gonna make him join Palpatine more easily?
in his life, he was disillusioned with the Jedi, and their opinions were starkly different, similar to how Qui-Gon was always at odds with the Council. Anakin would tell his master that Palpatine is not a bad man, that he has watched out for him ever since he arrived on Coruscant. He has been a sort of mentor to him, someone outside of the Jedi whom he could confide in. There is no way he would throw his friendship aside to appease some unwanted hatred that the Council feel towards him. Obi-Wan didn't understand. He was disobeying a direct order from the Council, one of which was of so much importance that could lead to the end of the war. Kenobi told his apprentice to use his senses, that something was out of place. Anakin would simply storm
Anakin's not gonna use his sense, Obi-Wan. He's a stupid, arrogant little twat.
Off, refusing this mission. As the scene cuts to the Republic gunship, Kenobi retells the events to his masters. Windu and Yoda were very concerned. Skywalker was growing more and more separated from what the Council wants, and his lack of trust is what will be his undoing, what could be the entire Order's undoing. Yoda tells Obi-Wan to watch out for his apprentice carefully, but the Jedi all knew that eventually they would have to make Anakin accept this assignment. It was the only way. It is revealed in both the Revenge of the Sith novelization and Rise of Skywalker novel that the Council were almost certain that the Chancellor was involved in a plot against the Republic. What is legends now, but was canon at its time of publication, was the fact that the Jedi knew that someone in 500 Republica, which is the tower that Palpatine lived in, was working with the Separatists. They didn't know for sure that it was Palpatine, but to be honest, who else could it be?
I know that they basically thought that someone in Palpatine's inner circle was included, like, entangled with the Sith, or someone was manipulating Palpatine, you know?
They also suspected Saint Presage, but the truth would have revealed itself if Anakin had taken on this mission from the Jedi. Back at Padme's apartment, Anakin storms in furious. He tells his wife what happened, how the Jedi have committed treason, that they are traitors. Anakin felt a lot of emotions. A large part of him was simply just making up for the fact that he wasn't granted the rank of Master. Padme tries to calm Anakin. She knew the Jedi aren't traitors, and her rationalization was acting fast. She was able to look at the situation from a neutral set of eyes. Padme asked her husband to consider what the Jedi are saying, if it's even in the slightest bit possible that Palpatine could be in contact with the Separatists. But Anakin
I mean, yeah, Padme's trying to be rational, but Anakin is a little twat. He's not gonna listen.
Stares at her with defiance in his eyes. He doesn't know what to say. In his mind, Padme was sounding like a separatist. Anakin is heavily on edge, and he's always on edge during the events of Revenge of the Sith. What's important to note here is that Anakin has had his nightmare of Padme dying, and amongst all of this disagreement, Anakin needs to find a way to save Padme. Later that night, Anakin is called to the opera with Palpatine, where the Chancellor says that he knows that Anakin was tasked to spy on him. When Palpatine revealed this, Anakin felt at home. Amidst everything that was happening, Palpatine felt like the one person he could confide in, the one person who truly understood him. He assured his friend that
Yeah, go to the Sith Lord.
He refused to spy on him, that he's been at odds with the council recently. Palpatine smirked under his deceptive gaze. Everything was proceeding as he had planned.
Yeah, okay, so this is gonna be a scenario where Anakin is just gonna turn to the dark side and Palpatine's side easier.
All he had to do was drive the final pieces home. He tells Anakin that the Jedi Order aren't what they used to be. They used to pride themselves on morals and values, but the war has changed them. The Jedi have become dogmatic soldiers who only think about fighting instead of diplomacy.
Like, that's not true though.
Anakin looks at Palpatine with a look of shock, but also a hint of being impressed. It wouldn't be normal for the Chancellor to speak so poorly about the Jedi, but Palpatine reinforces what he is saying, explaining a tale from when he was a younger man in his 20s. Palpatine was ambitious and eager to carve his path in Naboo's intricate political landscape. It was during this time that he witnessed a defining moment that forever shaped his view of the Jedi Order.
Okay.
A small, impoverished village on Naboo, tied distantly to his family, came under attack by a band of ruthless pirates. Desperate for aid, the villagers sent plea after plea to the Jedi Council.
See, the thing is, the Jedi weren't acting on these things because of the fact that they were too entangled with the Republic and they needed the Republic to approve, which was their mistake, you know?
Begging for intervention, yet the Jedi dismissed their cries, deeming the situation unworthy of their attention amidst the galaxy's broader turmoil. Taking matters into his own hands, Palpatine mobilized local militias and led an effort to repel the invaders. Though the battle was grueling, the villagers were saved, but not by the Jedi, but by the resolve of ordinary people. This incident, which Palpatine explained, left a lasting impression on him. The so-called guardians of
Yeah, okay, you're also a psychopath that murdered his family and was recruited by the Sith, so...
peace and justice were often blind to the suffering they claimed to protect, their lofty ideals clouding their judgment and abandoning those who needed them most. Anakin was shocked at the story, but Palpatine simply warned Anakin about falling into the hands of the Jedi, that they aren't what the Republic has made them out to be. He poses a question to Anakin, asking now that if a planet in the Outer Rim was under siege by a band of pirates, if the Order would help. The answer was no. If the opposition isn't the Separatists,
they couldn't because of the Republic,
then they aren't worth the Jedi's time and effort. Skywalker remained silent, processing this information. He agreed with Palpatine, and it hurt him to agree. Palpatine would then discuss Plagueis, instilling in Anakin even more manipulation and reason to doubt the faith of the light side of the Force. In the next council meeting, Anakin was again asked to spy on Palpatine, but this time, Anakin stood up for himself in front of everyone. He explained that what they were asking is treason, and he didn't want...
Maybe it's good that he's speaking up because they'll realize, I guess, I don't know, they're gonna realize that he's like, I don't know, doesn't like him.
Want to be a part of it. Palpatine was his friend and he wouldn't spy on him. Different council members tried to intervene and speak reason to Anakin, but the Chosen One placed his hand over the hilt of his saber and told them to
Buddy, okay, you're going too far, Anakin.
be quiet. He has made up his mind. Kenobi couldn't believe it. What was his apprentice doing? Who had he become? After the session, Yoda and Obi-Wan agreed to return back to Coruscant. The Masters could sense that the Force was out of balance.
Oh, so they're returning. Oh, that's good, that's good.
Anakin was falling right into Palpatine's grasp, and it was time for the Dark Lord to reveal his Sith identity to Anakin. When Palpatine reveals his true nature to Skywalker, the Chosen One would ignite his saber. He couldn't help but feel betrayed. For the last 48 hours, he has risked everyone he knew and loved and stood up for this man. But they were right all along. But then Palpatine said that if he turns to the dark side, he will be able to save Padme.
Oh my
from
goodness.
death. Anakin leaves and goes to Padme instead of Windu. She couldn't believe it and said that he had to turn him over to the Jedi Council. But
Okay, so you went with Padme instead of Windu, okay.
Anakin looked at her with tears in his eyes. He says that the only way Padme will survive is if he learns the secrets from Palpatine.
Bro believes the Sith.
She was shocked and gasped. She didn't stop shaking her head for maybe an hour as Anakin wrestled with his demon and made it more and more obvious what his choice was going to be. As Padme tries to stop her husband from making the greatest mistake of his life, he leaves. He goes back to Palpatine's office where he needs to know the truth. It was now too late. He was submitting himself. He needed more information. Anakin arrives at Palpatine's office, his mind racing with doubt and anger. He confronts Palpatine and demands answers about his identity as the Sith Lord and the secrets to saving Padme. Simultaneously, Padme informs Obi-Wan of what Anakin revealed.
Oh, that's good. See, like, Padme might be annoying sometimes, some stubborn cow, but she's smart, you know?
Kenobi takes it to the council, who gasp in unison. They had to go to Palpatine's office before it was too late.
Oh shit, you know what? This is gonna be insane. They're gonna show up and Anakin is gonna be there and he's probably gonna choose Palpatine's side.
Second they wait, they risk the dark side taking over. Yoda leads them out of the chambers, as he had just arrived back from Kashyyyk. Before everyone leaves, Kenobi asks if he could speak to Anakin alone first, that he thinks without an audience, he can
Anakin's already in Palpatine's office.
Change his apprentice's mind. The Masters didn't agree, but Obi-Wan insists, saying that Skywalker feels trapped by the Jedi. As they arrive, Obi-Wan enters alone. Palpatine welcomes, dubbing Kenobi the Negotiator, which in this scenario is exactly what he is. Obi-Wan pleads with Anakin to leave with him. At this moment, Anakin would still be very torn and not know what to do. Skywalker exclaimed that the council didn't trust him. The only hope he had to save Padme is Palpatine. He apologizes to his old master, but it's too late. But Kenobi doesn't accept this as an answer, and as he tries to press further, the rest of the council marches in, disobeying Obi-Wan's instruction and thinking that it was too late. Palpatine seizes this moment to escalate
I think they should have waited a little longer.
Situation and unleashes Force lightning at the Jedi before igniting 2 crimson sabers and leaping at the council.
Hold up, but if Palpatine kills one of them right now, like, Anakin might see this and maybe it might make him change his mind or something, or he's probably just gonna stand there and watch the fight.
The room became a dance of colorful strikes, as red, blue and green could be seen for miles. The fight raged on, with Palpatine fighting fiercely, his dark powers clashing against the Jedi's coordinated strikes. Anakin stood frozen in the chaos, caught in a storm of confusion and conflicting emotions. He didn't know where his loyalty should lie, whether with the Jedi who had been his family, or with Palpatine, the man who mentored him and is the only key to saving his wife. As the battle reached its peak, Palpatine, seemingly on the verge of defeat, began to play the victim, allowing himself to be overpowered.
Come on, Anakin literally saw how he fucking went in the air, spun around like some fucking devil, and like started fighting 6 Jedi at once.
And crying out desperately for Anakin's help. In a moment of instinct and desperation, Anakin rushed forward to protect him, seeing only his wife's death with Palpatine's death, not the death of any Jedi, and this caused him to strike down Saesee Tiin in his fury. As soon as the strike landed, Anakin
Fuck me, you're stupid, man.
froze, the weight of what he had just done crashing over him. He stepped back horrified by the
You just killed Saesee Tiin. And there's still Aegon Kolar, Kit Fisto, Mace Windu, Obi-Wan, and Yoda. Because Palpatine hasn't killed any of them, has he?
brutality of his actions, unable to comprehend how far he had fallen. His mind raced as he stared at the lifeless Jedi, unsure of who he was anymore and what his next move should be. But then the fight continued, and every moment was a blur of lightsaber strikes, force pushes, and the crackling tension of conflict. The battle seemed endless, with both sides relentless in their pursuit of victory. It felt like a breaking point was near, and Anakin was about to snap. In the heat of the chaos, Yoda moved swiftly, his small form darting between the combatants as he sought Anakin out. Using the Force to his advantage, he lured Anakin into a nearby room, away from the violent clash. As they stepped into the quiet of Palpatine's private office, Yoda deactivated his lightsaber, his eyes locking onto Anakin with a deep
Yoda, he believes in Skywalker, man. Come on, he can make him come back.
understanding. Anakin's heart raced, his mind clouded with doubt. He was so far gone, caught in a web of lies and manipulation. But Yoda pleads with Anakin, telling him for once to put his trust in them. But Anakin asked why he would ever do that. All they have ever done is belittle him and not believe in him. Yoda apologizes and explains that the Jedi have failed him, not the other way around, and that if he trusts them, they can save Padme. Anakin is shocked, and Yoda reveals that Padme reached out to the Jedi and explained everything, and it was in that moment that the Council realized that they had mistreated Anakin. Anakin was unsure and desperate for answers, but he finally agrees to trust Yoda, putting his faith in his old friend. As they re-entered the next room, Anakin's world shattered in an instant. Obi-Wan lay on the floor, his lightsaber dropped, and his body crumbled as though lifeless. There was a gaping wound that mirrored in his chest, and his face was pale and ghostly. Anakin's heart clenched with horror, his stomach turning in grief. Tears filled Anakin's eyes as he fell to his knees beside Obi-Wan, grief and sorrow flooding his every sense. He couldn't breathe. Anakin's emotions began to swell. Palpatine had killed him. He had to fight back, not just for Obi-Wan, but for everything he had believed in until only days earlier. With a roar, Anakin rejoined the battle, charging back into the fray with a renewed strength. The fight with Palpatine raged on, the three remaining Jedi now united against the Dark Lord. Mace Windu and Kit Fisto fought beside them, their lightsabers flashing in the dimly lit room. The Dark Lord's senses weakened under their combined assault. With one final
I feel like Palpatine probably targeted Obi-Wan, because I don't think Obi-Wan would die before Kit Fisto.
Decisive blow, Skywalker struck Palpatine down, and the Sith Lord fell to the ground, his reign of terror finally ending. The fight was over. Anakin was overwhelmed by grief and rushes to Obi-Wan's side, his tears falling freely as he cradles his master's body.
Yoda, do some force healing, man.
Obi-Wan's death is crushing, but before Anakin can fully process the loss, Yoda strides over, using the Force in a way Anakin had never seen
Force
before.
healing!
Yoda begins to heal Obi-Wan's fatal wound, bringing him back from the brink of death. Anakin watches in awe, struggling to comprehend the miracle before him. Yoda explains that when someone is truly consumed by the light side of the Force, they possess the power not only to heal, but to protect those they love, even defying the natural course of life and death. Anakin had searched for the secrets of death and found his way to the dark side, when the true answers lay in the light all along. Yoda assures him that Padme will be safe, and that the Jedi will ensure she gives birth without harm, taking the burden off Anakin's shoulders. With that weight lifted, Anakin begins to find a new sense of peace. The scene shifts to Naboo, where Padme gives birth to their child, surrounded by the love and support of both Anakin and Obi-Wan, who stands by his side, fully healed. The joy of the moment is overwhelming, as Anakin finally sees a future where hope and love can still thrive. He moves to Naboo, taking on the role of the Jedi assigned to handle the planet's affairs, where he can be close to his family and live a life of balance. Together, Anakin and Padme forge a new path, one free from the shadows of the past, where peace reigns and the future looks brighter than ever. And so, Anakin, Padme, Obi-Wan, and their children live happily ever after. Their story, one of redemption, healing, and a fresh beginning. If you enjoyed today's video...
Wow, truly a beautiful what if. I'm gonna give this an 8 out of 10, because, well, it's a pretty average what if, so to speak, but it's really good, obviously. Good ending. Of course, it's, again, a unique way of, you know, making things work, and I like it. I like how it's written. So, yeah, 8 out of 10 for this what if. Let me know what you guys would rate this what if in the comment section down below, whether you agree with my 8 out of 10 rating, or if you don't, and why.
Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this reaction, make sure to go subscribe to Fantasy Folklore for more awesome what if content. And do not forget to subscribe to my channel, leave a like, and turn on those notifications so you never miss an upload. Remember, a new Star Wars what if reaction drops every single day. Join our Discord, the link's in the description. Also, if you want to support the channel and get exclusive perks, consider joining our Patreon. I'd love to hear your thoughts on this video, so drop a comment with feedback or let me know which what if I should react to next. Thanks for watching. This is the way, may the Force be with you. Until then, I will see you next time.
Hey, you didn't watch it? Well, check out the video on the left side of the screen, which is specifically recommended for you, or check out the playlist on the right of the screen, which contains similar videos to this one, made by me, of course. Hey, remember, subscribe.